Yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom. Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Good evening, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to our service. We're glad to see so many of you braving the elements to come out and join us. And for everyone who's watching virtually, that's why we get to do this service for all of you. We're glad to have you with us. We're going to begin with the lighting of the candles. Anyone would like to come up and light candles for us? All you do is light. You can't your sentence. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, Lila's going to help too. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
May the Shabbat candles that we now light inspire us to see justly and gently, look honestly and with kindness to see what's holy in each other. We turn to page 4 at the bottom of the page. We'll continue. Hine ma tov, how good and pleasant it is for us to be together, and joining with all of you out there in our virtual land together. We join with the cantor.
And we're so happy to be here on this Shabbat with guests, with members, with visitors, with people who live here full time. Please take just a moment, look around the room, see who you're sharing Shabbat with this evening, introduce yourself or say Shabbat Shalom or give a wave to someone nearby. Hine ma tov u'manayim shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shavet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim 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 שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה יאללה הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה יאללה הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
As we turn to our prayer books on page 8 at the bottom of the page, we'll continue with our family prayer. May we never take for granted the gift of Shabbat as we sit nestled in the Rocky Mountains, sharing this humble moment with family and friends. May the satisfaction of celebrating Shabbat hearten our spirits. Let Shabbat peace bring quiet to our soul. Allow this time set aside for song and prayer to bring us closer together in thoughts and deeds. Space we share from our place of devotion, glowing with reverence and filled with our traditions. And may the end of this week encourage us to examine our actions. Let us look ahead toward the new week and be worthy of all of God's blessings. We now welcome the angels of peace, the top of page 8, as we join with the cantor.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Well, tonight we're also celebrating together with Shabbat, Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day. So we'll be interspersing a few songs in honor of the state of Israel, as well as talking about it later. Should we try Bashana?
Sure.
We don't have it in our prayer book, but familiar to many.
Bashana habaa nisheva hamirpeset v'nispor ziporim nodedot ילדים בחופשה ישחחו תופסת בין הבית ובין חסדות תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה.
And taken from the Psalms, the pilgrims arriving in Jerusalem said, I lift my eyes to the mountains, from where does my help come? Page 12, and we'll join together. Esainai.
Esainai el harim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Esainai el harim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai oseh shamayim va'aretz. Esainai el harim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Esainai el harim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri Me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim Va'aretz.
And also, is it actually today, Earth Day? Tomorrow is Earth Day, as we recognize Earth Day as well. We have the perfect prayer in our prayer book on page 15. It talks about not just Earth Day throughout the world, but our covenant with God here of taking care of our little spot. As we live amidst the trees, streams, and mountains of Vail, we pray for the care and healing of the earth, so that present and future generations may enjoy the fruits of creation. God made a covenant with Abraham and Sarah, blessing them and their descendants throughout the generations. We teach our children to love Judaism, to honor, carry on our traditions, the laws of the Torah, so our legacy may continue. Covenant with Moses and the Israelite people. To all generations, giving our people the 10 Commandments and challenging us to choose a life of goodness. So may each day, including Earth Day tomorrow, be filled with kindness, honesty, integrity, and righteous acts, remain filled with the promise of the covenants. Turn to page 12 as we welcome the Sabbath bride. Will join together, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad. L'shem tiferet v'litchila lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, ki hi mekor ha'viracha, mirosh mikedem nifsucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Mikdash melech ir melucha, kumitzi mitoch ha'afecha, Rav lach shevet be'et mechalacha, vehu yachmol alaychem lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela.
Bottom of page 18, we rise, face this door. The Sabbath bride can't come through the door with no steps.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzahala, toch emunah am segula. Boi chala, la lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela.
You may be seated. By tradition, Psalm 92, we were told, was first recited in the temple in Jerusalem. It's a song of praise and thanksgiving, and even this little abbreviation we have at the top of page 21 talks about a few of the instruments played, but there were 11 instruments mentioned that were played in temple times. Let's continue responsively at the top of page 21. It is good to give thanks to you, O Lord, to praise your name through song, to speak in the morning of your loving kindness, your faithfulness each night. Music of the lute and harp, melody of the lyre, I'll sing with my delight. Continue the bottom of page 20.
Sadikatamar Yifrach Ke'eres Balvanon Yizke Shetulim Beveit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvun Beseva Deshenim Vera'ananim Yehiu Lehagid Ki Yashar Adonai Suri Ve'Latabo.
Well, apart from our services, there's so many other exciting things that were going on and will be going on. And last night when we were at the book Chavurah, listening to the author talk about the prison minion, which is not you, you're not held in here, but it was an amazing book, amazing story. You said, oh, I'll see you tomorrow night. So as I knew you were coming, how about page 23? If you'll lead us responsibly just for today, that wonderful reading going back to 1921.
Me?
Or you can share.
Just for today, I will live one day only, forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve the whole problem of life at once.
Just for today, I'll be unafraid of life and death, unafraid to enjoy the beautiful and be happy. People are as happy as they make up their minds to be.
Just for today, I will adjust myself to what is, and not try to adjust everything to suit me. If I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have.
Just for today, I'll be agreeable, cheerful, charitable. Do my best, praise people for what they can do, and not criticize them for what they cannot do. And if I find fault, I'll forgive it and forget it. And I will try not to improve nor regulate anybody except myself.
Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision.
Just for today, I'll get people off my nerves and not get on theirs. I'll appreciate them for what they do and what they are.
Just for today, I will not show it if my feelings are hurt.
And just for today, I'll find a little time for quiet, to relax, and realize what life is and can be. Time to think about God and get a better perspective of myself.
Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that as I give to the world, so the world will give to me.
Thank you so much. And we'll turn to page 24 and rise, continue with our call to worship, and join together in the Baruch Hu.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed.
Thank you. You may be seated as we Continue at the bottom of page 28, responsively thinking about God's wondrous creations. As we join together in this Shabbat Eve, we take in the greatness of God's creations. As the snow melts on the mountain peaks on high, let our worries of the week flow away. And as the mountain springs give forth fresh water, let our souls feel refreshed. As creeks join streams and become the great rivers, let our faith and love grow stronger. And as we stand in awe of the great beauty of the Rocky Mountains, let our faith in God increase and renew. Let this Shabbat be a time of peace. As we continue the top of page 28.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha avta, Amcha avta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadeta, Otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu, uvkumenu nasviach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki ehem chayenu, be'orech yameinu, uvahem negeh yomam v'layla, negeh yomam v'layla, be'ahavatcha al tashir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael.
Turn to page 30 and join together in the Shema.
Maya and Lila are going to lead us. Come on up. Come on, come on. Come on, Maya.
Taking the long way.
Going through a whole maze, huh? Uh-oh, what's going on with your foot?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod, Mahu Tov, Leolam Va'ed.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha, uvchol meodecha, vehayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha avaderech, Uvshachbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha.
Well, the prayer Hashkivenu, as it was written, is a special prayer that talks about when we lie down to sleep in peace, and we ask God that you stand us up in the morning in life. And while we're sleeping, to spread over us your tabernacle of peace. And when that doesn't happen, when those are found to be in a difficult situation and get through that situation without any harm, there's a special prayer we have for courage as well. And that's for some special people out there in our virtual land. That in the Psalms we read, God is my refuge and my strength and the very present help in my time of trouble. So help us feel that help. Let your presence be a light within to dispel the darkness, and always let your nearness be a comfort to us. So through this, we always pray for the courage to carry on. We carry on in the face of danger, knowing that tomorrow will be a better day. So give us spirit of mind and contentment of spirit, and be grateful for this moment that we went through. Hashkivenu at the top of page 34 as we join together.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Mehamidenu Malkeinu leChayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Mehamidenu Malkeinu leChayim. Ushmor Tzeiteinu, Uvoleinu, Lechaim u'Shalom, Me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Mehamidenu Malkeinu leChayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, Mehamidenu Malkeinu leChayim.
May we always feel protected in the shadow of your wings, for blessed are you, O God, whose shelter of peace spreads over us day and night, and over all people and over Jerusalem. Well, taken from the book of Exodus, in 6 days the Lord created the heavens and the earth. Seventh day he ceased from his work and rested. Page 36, we'll join together, Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam, berit olam, beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat, Shabbat, vayinafas Shabbat, Shabbat, vayinafas Shabbat, Shabbat, vayinafas.
The Birkat HaGomel prayer expresses our gratitude for the miracle of life and the restoration of one's health and safety. Safety to our family and to our friends, and indeed the restoration to life itself. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, HaGomel l'chayavim tovot sheg gimelani kol tov. May God, who has bestowed kindness upon us, continue to bestow every goodness and safety upon all of us. Or those in our community who are in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit. If you have someone in your life who's in need of healing, please feel free in just a moment to share their name aloud as we continue the top of page 38 with the cantor, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avo
the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. And we offer blessings for full healing to Carolyn Anel, Emil Anel, Lynn Ambrose, and Gail Balin, Sue Beiser, Jackie Cohen, Linda Colin, Blanche Deutsch, Lynn Deutschman, Carol Ann Finn, Jane Friedman, Betty Ann Gaynor, Don Gerstein, Deborah Goldman, and Mike Herman, Ken Imler, Rhea Ivry, Donald Jaffe, Harriet Jaffe, and Warren Janowitz, Mary Sue Katz, Skip Clowens, Herman Keek, Brian Kushner, Renee Myers, Stephen Reese, Daniel Rosen, Chip Ruth, Roberta Scheller, and Sam Schwartz, Bernie Shavitz, Bill Silvers, Dina Stempler, Ellen Stone, Mark Strauss and Maury Strauss, Alan Tenenbaum, Rita Weinstein, Tevi Wellens, Brian Wilson, and Mickey Winokur. Thank you. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. The top of page 40, we now rise and join together in the Reader's Kaddish. We've got you back again.
Yitzgadol veitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Be'alma divra kirutei ve'amich malchutei.
B'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'vizman karif.
Ve'imaru.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam Ulam Be'omaya Yitzbarach.
Yitzbarach v'ishtabach v'pa'ar v'roman v'naseh v'itadar v'itale v'italal shemei dekudsha
B'richu
le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata.
Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiram b'ilma.
V'imaru.
Amen.
Thank you. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory as we continue the top of page 42 and silently through page 57. Adonai. Sfatai tiftach. Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai. Sfatai tiftach. Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai.
שפתי תפתח. ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני, אדוני, שפתי תפתח. ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד תהילתך.
Eternal God, we ask for your blessings for the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream, to be a beacon of hope for the oppressed and a source of inspiration to all who are free. Shield her with your love, and may Israel's borders know peace, its inhabitants tranquility. Bless Israel's leaders with wisdom, courage, and dedication, and may those who defend the land protect its people to come home safely to their families. Let love and justice flow like a mighty stream, and peace fill the earth as the waters fill the sea. Bless the land of Israel with peace, and its inhabitants with lasting joy. Amen. You may be seated when you've completed the Amida. During the Yom Kippur War, a beautiful song was written by Nomi Shemer called Al Kol Eila. I remember I was there during the war as a student at Hebrew University. We remember the first time this was played over the radio, and it talks about leaving the light burning until all have come home in peace. Continue page 75 in our prayer books, Al Kol Eila.
על הדבש ועל העוקץ, על המר והמתוק, על ביתנו התינוקת, שמור אלי הטוב, על האש המבוערת, על המים חזקים, על האיש השב הביתה מן המרחקים. Al Kol Eila, Al Kol Eila, Shmor na li Eli hatov, Al hadvash ve'al ha'oketz, Al hamar ve'hamatov, Al nata'akur natua, Al tishkach et hatikva, Hashiveni ve'ashuva el ha'aretz ha'tova.
Thank you. Well, Theodor Herzl, the founder of political Zionism, died in 1904. 1904, and he was only 44 years old. And though he died in Vienna, Herzl made clear in his last will and testament that he said, I want to be buried in a Jewish homeland. So when the state of Israel was founded in 1948, Israel's first prime minister, David Ben-Gurion, he saw to it that Herzl would be brought home. Ben-Gurion's words that day in August of 1949 framed the importance of the moment for Israel and for us today. Ben-Gurion said that only two people have had the privilege of having their remains brought to Israel, to a liberated nation: Joseph from Egypt and Theodor Herzl from Vienna. Ben-Gurion understood that this moment was all about honoring the past. But allow me to now share with you the rest of the story. It's about a piece of cloth. It's a funeral pall. In Hebrew, it's called a parochet, and that's the cloth that covers the casket, and it was covering the casket of Theodor Herzl on August 17th, 1949, when he was brought back. In the decades immediately following Herzl's death, there was no way that they could act upon Herzl's request to be buried in a Jewish homeland. Back in 1935, the 19th Zionist Congress was held in Lucerne, Switzerland, and they saw just a small window of opportunity. Remember, this is 1935, to move Herzl's remains to the British-occupied and controlled Palestine. So a Viennese artist by the name of Arthur Weitz, he was commissioned to design this parochet, this funeral pall that would be for the occasion. It was a gorgeous achievement. It was inscribed with 2 biblical verses and a final passage from Herzl's famous book, Der Judenstaat, that was embroidered on this pall. A blue and white motif with gold stitching all around the sides. The image of a lion was placed inside the Star of David with 7 gold stars around it. It was reminiscent of Herzl's original proposal to the flag of the imagined Jewish state. Well, the window of opportunity, however, did not last. The situation of European Jewry grew precarious. Priorities shifted, and the plans to reinter Herzl had to be postponed indefinitely. So in 1939, Arthur Weitz's parochet did, however, make it to British Palestine. It was stored by the Jewish National Fund in one of their buildings in Tel Aviv. The artist Arthur Weitz, however, did not, as in 1942, he didn't make it because he died in Auschwitz. His wife and children, however, did survive the war, and they were hidden in France. So it's now August 1949 when Herzl was being brought home to Jerusalem. If you will it, it is no dream. Herzl's last will and testament fulfilled by being buried finally in the state of Israel. Well, the magnificent parochet was draped over his casket, and that was the last time, though, that was ever seen. The artist Arthur Weitz's son, Yitzchak, was only 3 years old when he was separated from his father. He grew up in France, made Aliyah to Israel with his wife in the early 1970s, going on to raise 3 children in Israel and 12 grandchildren. Well, Yitzchak only knew his father through the stories that his mother told him. He knew that his father had been an artist and had no idea of really the connection between his late father and Theodor Herzl and Zionism. Then on December 4th, 2005, Yitzchak wanders into a Jerusalem bookstore, Steinmatzky's. The front page of an old copy of the newspaper, well, Haaretz, August 17th, 1949, was on display in this bookstore. It was complete with a picture of the reinterment ceremony. On the picture, it shows Herzl's casket, and it's draped in a parochet. What caught Yitzchak's attention was not the picture, but the footnote at the bottom that said the parochet was not made in Israel in 1949, but Vienna, 1936. So Yitzchak's mother had long since passed, but somehow he remembered that offhand comment that it was his father, Arthur Weitz, who had designed that parochet. So just imagine how Yitzchak felt at that moment of discovery, not just that his father had died in Auschwitz, was a participant in Zionist history, but Yitzchak now is connected to the father that he never knew through a grainy black and white photo of this parochet. It was 70 years ago that Paul had draped Theodor Herzl's casket and then vanished, never to be found. Around the same time as the 70th anniversary ceremony to bring Herzl home, J&F was selling its warehouses in Tel Aviv. So everything had to be cleared out of their buildings. And yes, there it was, folded up under a cupboard, a little faded, but untouched for 70 years, was the missing parochet of Arthur White's. Well, Yitzchak spoke of the indescribable feeling that came seeing his father's original handiwork and touching the very cloth that his father touched, and he said in his own words, to feel the fingerprints of his father. Now, in case you're wondering, what were those two biblical verses that Arthur White's chose to embroider on this parochet? Remember, 1936. The first is from the book of Ezekiel. He said, "Behold, I will open your graves and cause you to come out of your graves, O my people, veheviti etchem el admat Yisrael, and I will bring you to the land of Israel." The second is from the book of Psalms, where it says, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy." So tonight we reap in joy the birth of the state of Israel, and the man Theodor Herzl had the vision of a homeland so many years ago. If you will it, it's not a dream.
Page 76. Im tirtzu, ein zo agada, ein zo agada, lehiatam chofshi be'artzeinu, be'eretz Zion, Yerushalayim tirtzu, im tirtzu, ein zo agada, ein zo agada, lehiatam chofshi be'artzeinu, be'eretz Zion, Yerushalayim.
Thank you. Just a few quick announcements, please. I hope that you have taken this with you, or if you're looking virtually, we'd like to welcome East Coast. I know the Groblowskis are always watching, and on the West Coast, we've got Seacrest, and Joan is watching, and everybody in between. So we're glad to have you with us. And there's a lot of Israeli programs that we have coming up this summer. One of them is welcome the Israeli soldiers of Bishvil HaMachar, the program where they work on some healing at the Molina Ranch. That's in July, so it's a little bit ways out. I wish it was as warm as July instead of snowing right now.
Blizzard, who knew?
I know. But it's taking place, we'll welcome the soldiers at our first mountaintop service. And then 10 days later, we go out to the Molina Ranch, and it's an incredible service that the cantor and I offer all of them and invite all of you to come out to the ranch and be with us. When we talk about our book Havarah, for all of you that haven't read a book or haven't been to one of them, you really have to try it. It was amazing last night where we had the author of The Prison Minion come on. And just to hear how he came about the whole idea of the prison and each personality of each person. So we have other, when these come up, please, and join us. Even if you haven't read the book, you're welcome to be with us. It's a great experience. Just speaking with Vail Symposium before services, we have 3 major programs coming up, including an evening with Bill Browder. And that should be pretty incredible for those of you that read anything of his or seen him on TV. He's the #1 enemy of Vladimir Putin, so it's definitely appropriate for what's going on today. And some school things in 2 weeks.
We have, in just a few weeks, we're going to have our Hebrew School Culmination Shabbat, where our Hebrew School students are going to be helping to lead the service. All of the ones that show up, they get to help lead whenever they're here, too. But we'll get to see all of the hard work that they've been doing all year. We have a lot of family events coming up, a lot of really great musical events coming up this summer. We're bringing in some incredible musicians and educators. My dear friend Eliana Light, who she's written a song for B'nai Vail, and she is one of the people who goes to all of the Jewish conferences, and she's the one who trains all of the educators on how to be educators. So you do not want to miss when she's here. And she's doing an amazing session for us the Friday night before our mountaintop service in August. So don't miss out on that. And Colleen Deeker will be joining us for our first mountaintop service.
And your bluegrass and boot
we're
scoop.
having Jewgrass Shabbat on what is that, June 23rd, something like that?
It is. It's right
June
before
23rd.
before we clean up. We said, let's learn more about Colorado Jewish history. And we said, maybe we should do a Shabbat service with bluegrass.
Yeah, so it'll be all of the tunes that you know and love, but with mandolin and banjo and some finger picking and all sorts of fun stuff. So you won't want to miss that either.
Well, let's return to our prayer books. Page 60, as we rise, we'll join together Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'tet gedula le'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
At this moment, in memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us, we join hands in love and remembrance. A link has been broken in the chain that bound us together, yet strong bonds of home and love hold us one to another. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, we call to mind those whose yahrzeit we observe this month. Ruth Baker, Peter Barrett, Grace Blossom Silver, John Burnett, Edward Cohen, Lisa Cohen, Milton Cohen, Louis Gerstein, Nathan William Goldstein, Mathilde Heffer, Sidney Isaac, Mark Jacobson, Ruth Kimmel, Clara Krell, Adele Langsam, Burton Leventhal, Ted Levy, Helen Leaf, Doug Lockhart, Bess Lubin, Bonnie Marcus, Jean Martin, Alicia Merritt, Goldie Moskowitz, David Mossman, Larry Nickerman, Betty Numeroff, Marshall Palikow, Pearl Rosen, Helen Rosen, Bernice Rosenbach, Harvey Rowitz, Harry Schwartz, Sadie Slakowitz, Francis Solomon, Shalene Sussland, Henry Trout, Bernice Waldbaum, Merritt Buckweaver, Jack Whitman, James Wolfe, Lucy Hamill Yashik, Jochen Yashik, and Morton Zerden. And also our sincerest condolences unto the loss of Ian Dressner and Leif Furmansky. If anyone else is observing Yahrzeit tonight. The Mourner's Kaddish can be found in our prayer books on page 64, and those who wish may join with me as we say, Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shemei Rabbah, B'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Bagalav v'zman kariv v'imramein. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ome'omaya, Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha b'reichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran b'alma v'imramein. Yehei shlomo Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imramein. Oseh shalom v'imramav, huyaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imramein. And we'll remain standing for a moment. Turn our prayer books to page 70 if you need the words for Hatikva as we honor the state of Israel and join with the cantor.
Kol od balevav penima, nefesh Yehudi
ופעתי מזרח קדימה, עין לציון צופיה. עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. We'll remain standing for our Kiddush and Motzi. Adonai oz li'amo yatein, Adonai avarechet amo v'shalom. May the Lord grant strength unto his people. Bless all peoples with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
You know, it stays with me ever since I was 12 years old learning my bar mitzvah stuff was the shamus sitting there teaching us how to sing this full Kiddush. And when we came to Kodshecha and we said Kodshecha, he would bang that piano and yell Kodshecha.
Because it's an A vowel. It's very confusing.
I know. Kamatz katan.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'te'avon.
And challah and wine in the back.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.